everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin, I'm a geek, you are watching Kevin the Geek. Welcome back to another video, and the first one, I think, literally since last Christmas, of Would I Lie to You. I don't know how many I've done now, maybe 4 or 5 episodes of this. It's always fun when I watch it. I don't know what it is, it's just one that I come back to here and there, and yeah, I think I need to watch a little bit more of it, a little bit more frequently. Let me know if you want to see more of this. But this is the Christmas special, I believe, from 2018. Our guest in this one is Sian, Gibson, James Acaster, Noddy Holder, and Lily Allen. Let's get into it.
To Would I Lie to You at Christmas, a very special edition filled with festive fibs. On David Mitchell's team tonight, a singer who also runs a charity shop selling vintage clothes. Last year, she made a profit of 3 guineas, 11 shillings and 6pence. It's Lily Allen. And a brilliant musician who's responsible for the most powerful Christmas release since the time I ate 23 Brussels sprouts. It's Noddy Holder.
It's Christmas!
And on Lee Mack's team tonight, from Carshare, an actress who starred in Murder on the Blackpool Express about a coach trip to Blackpool. Talk about suffering for your art. It's Sian Gibson.
People have told me to watch Carshare.
And a comedian who years ago sold ice creams for a living. I don't know which year exactly, but I'm guessing 99. It's James Acaster.
Nice.
We begin with round 1, Home Truths, where our panellists read out a statement from the card in front of them. Now, to make things harder, they've never seen the card before. They have no idea what they'll be faced with. It's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. And Noddy is first up.
One December night, while dressed as Joseph, I had to shove a donkey off a country lane.
Please, team.
Okay.
When was this, Noddy?
This would have been mid-70s.
So why were you dressed as Joseph?
Well, a friend of mine used to have a party every Christmas time, just before Christmas. And it was always fancy dress. And this particular year, he wanted to feature the Nativity. And I originally wanted to be Angel Gabriel.
Right.
But he said, I'm not having you, Angel Gabriel. You
Why not?
be Joseph.
Why couldn't you be Angel Gabriel? Because of the accent? Oh, look, it's a little baby Jesus.
So I got an old curtain round me and a tea towel on my head.
Like tonight. So, whose party was it?
It was my best friend's party.
OK.
And...
Do they have a name, Noddy?
Swin, his name was Swin.
Oh,
Swin.
I wish you'd have said big ears, but come on. So, where does the donkey...
So the time was getting on, it was 1 o'clock. I thought I'd better make my way home. And when I get outside, the air hit me and I felt a bit spacey, and I think somebody had spiked my drink. So I set off, and it sort of got worse and worse as I drove on. I was sort of blue flashing lights coming past me and all sorts.
Those would have been the police.
No, that comes later. Anyway, I'm driving, and I thought, I'll take the scenic route.
Right.
So I started to go down all these country lanes to make my way home. And suddenly, in the middle of the road, is a donkey. So I screeches to a halt, thinking, am I imagining this donkey, or is it a real donkey?
Am I really Joseph?
Is it possible it was just Elvis Costello turning up late to the party in fancy dress?
Possible.
So I screeches to a halt, and I thought, I better get out and check whether I can't carry on. I couldn't drive round it, the lane was too narrow.
Yeah.
And I got out the car to feel if it was real or not.
Are you genuinely still not sure, even though you're right up
sure.
to it? You have to feel it to
I
see
had to feel it.
Can I ask you a question? Is this one big alibi for touching up a donkey?
So I get behind him.
Good idea. Safest place with a donkey, Noddy.
And start pushing him from behind.
Where's this story leading, Noddy?
I was thinking that.
Suddenly I hear,
Don't you mean E or E?
I was thinking.
Of course, coming down the road is a cop car. Now, I'm used to, in those days, being pulled every night after late...
Excuse me?
It's Christmas, Noddy, it's Christmas.
Well, they pull his cracker.
Anyway, they get out the car and do the usual. Here we are. Mr. Christmas, what's he doing now? As a last punchline, I said, I've been celebrating tonight because my wife's just had a kid. I thought it was pretty good at the time.
No.
What do you think, James?
I'm going to say true. Because I had a time, I went to visit a friend, and then driving home, I had to go kind of the back country roads, and it started snowing. And as I'm going down, I'm thinking, well, I've got to be quite on the slow speed because you don't know what's going to happen. And lo and behold, a deer literally just walks into the middle of the road. So I'm like, okay, let's slow down. Let's make sure we don't hit a deer. And then a second one comes along, and then a third, and then a fourth. And eventually, my car gets surrounded by these deer. So I literally have to switch the engine off. And I sat there for about 20 minutes while surrounded by about 30 deer. They were just there. So, yeah, I can believe Noddy on this one. Yeah, I mean, definitely if you'd said deer. Donkey, you've got to imagine it's probably been from some farm or something nearby.
I think it's true, but it's just nice to listen to him tell a story, and I kind of forgot halfway through I'm meant to be knowing if it's true or not.
It's definitely telling true.
I think it's the truth.
I think true.
True?
True.
OK, we'll
True.
say
Saying it's true. Noddy, was it true or were you telling a lie?
It is true.
There we go. Good start.
Yes, it's true. Noddy did shove a donkey off a road while dressed as Joseph. James, you're next.
One Christmas, on hearing I wasn't going to get the present I wanted, I tried to drown myself. In protest.
What the hell?
Tell us the story.
Well,
Please
I wasn't
do.
going to get the present I wanted.
Which
was?
What did you want?
The Spice Girls' debut album, Spice.
It's a lie.
That's so weird, because I did get it, and I did try and drown myself.
No! Don't applaud that. It's a great album.
How old were you then?
I was like 10 or 11.
Right.
So you wanted the album.
No, he
and
really,
then-
really wanted it.
Hey!
Stop right now.
Hey!
So you wanted the album.
Yes,
What
I really,
happened?
really wanted it.
In case you don't use mine in the edit, yeah? Well, can I just say
James,
stop right now?
now.
I love that one if they use this.
Who's your friend, Big Ears?
So what happened, James?
I wanted the Spice Girls album, Spice.
Yeah,
and so
as
did
you
my
do.
sister. We'd both been pestering our parents a lot for the album. My father decided he had to tell us before Christmas who was going to get the album or not, because he didn't want an upset on Christmas Day. And so he waited until we were in a safe space with the local swimming pool.
Yeah.
We'd all gone for a family swim.
Yeah.
And
A lovely Christmassy thing to do. A lot of people
Of course.
do a lot of swimming in the run-up to Christmas.
because it was in honour of the 7 swans of swimming.
Yeah.
Well, we did. We were swimming, and then my dad called a family meeting.
Again, as you do.
Shallow end, yeah. Oh, you're not treading water during a family meeting. He said, right, it's a week until Christmas, and I'm just going to let you know that Ruth is getting the Spice Girls album.
Who it is?
Well, where were you then? Because at the time, I looked like I overreacted.
Well, take us through this reaction. Paint a picture of how a young James reacted.
It was like a storm came over me. Very angry. And then I turned and I walked to the other end of the shallow end. I did a width.
Yeah.
I would have stormed away, but it's very hard.
Yeah.
Wade through the water. You have to say every now and again, I'm really cross. Went to the other end, and I turned round so they could see my face, and I just sat down slowly. I was under the water.
Yeah.
I went, well, I was thinking this.
Thank you for the clarification.
I guess I'll either stay here until one of two things happens. Either I get the Spice Girls' debut album, Spice, or I'm gonna die.
Which happened?
Well, what happened?
He's dead. Clearly,
What
he's
happened
dead.
was, I came back up again, and I saw that not only were they not... They were just carried on swimming. They got always under the water now, and my dad quickly went, problem solved, and they carried on swimming.
What are you thinking, Noddy?
I just...
Oops. Sorry.
They got always under the water now, and my dad quickly went, problem solved, and they carried on swimming.
I had a similar kind of thing happen to me. Wasn't the Spice Girls debut album, it was the Kelly Clarkson debut album. I remember at one point, I kept hearing it on adverts and stuff. I really liked the sound of it. And then my brother also said that he wanted it. Which I still, to this day, think that... Because my brother has revealed, like, over the years, like... He for years was like, oh, I'm going to support this football team because I like them. And I went out of my way for years and got him stuff relating to this football team as Christmas presents and stuff, only for him to reveal years later that he didn't actually support them at all. He didn't really support football at all. He just did it to piss me off because they were the rival team. So I still think that he only said he wanted this album because I wanted it, and he was doing it to be a dick. So, I guess I could see the potential in, two siblings both wanting the same present. Whether he tried to drown himself as a result of it, I don't know. Because he's very good at telling the stories. And he has some awkward moments where he's like, and sort of hesitates. Is that James hesitating because he's thinking on his feet? Or is he hesitating because he's a really good actor and is trying to waylay people? I'm not quite sure on this one. I'm going to go... sorry, I'm going to go true.
What are you thinking, Noddy?
I just don't think his dad would do that. I think he'd buy 2 albums.
Oh, I'm unaware that you knew my father, Noddy.
What do you think about the 2 albums buying issue?
Well, like, as a parent, I just would have thought that just quietly, like, going off to HMV to buy an album is easier than taking the whole family for a group swim.
My mum didn't.
So what are you going to say, David? What's it going to be?
I think it's fine.
I'll say lie.
You think that you both think it's a lie? I'm going to say lie.
OK. James, were you
One of
telling
us is
the
going to be
truth,
right.
or was it a lie?
I was telling the truth.
Get him!
Yes, it's true. James did try to drown himself in protest over his Christmas presents. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. This week, each of Lee's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest, and it's up to David's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Jerry. So, Sian, what is Jerry to you?
This is Jerry, and he was the policeman who came to investigate when I was heard screaming during a Christmas game of Twister.
Sian's concerned copper. James, how do you know Jerry?
This is Jerry. He's the fireman who every Boxing Day soaks me with water during a festive game of squirt.
Right. James's fireman friend. And finally, Lee, what's your relationship with Jerry?
This is Jerry. He's the paramedic.
Yeah.
He ticked me off last Christmas after I landed my drone in his ambulance.
Oh, God. I'm not going to say rather who I think is telling the truth on this one, because I actually know the answer to this one.
David's team, where to begin?
Sian, you were playing Twister.
Yep.
What was the occasion?
It was in between Christmas and New Year, and me and my family had gone away and rented a cottage.
And why did you scream?
Because I think I had my left hand on red and right foot on green.
Tricky.
Tricky. And we'd all
Never
had a
played
few
Twister.
drinks, and...
What was the time? What time of day?
Oh, it was evening.
Right.
It was evening. I'd say about 10:30ish.
Okay.
And my uncle fell on my face and I screamed.
I mean, that would do it to you.
And you would scream, wouldn't you? You would scream.
Yeah.
Was he a friendly uncle?
Very friendly.
If you've been affected by any of the issues raised in tonight's show, there is a website you can visit.
It wasn't a horrific scream. It was fun. I was having fun. I was just a bit hysterical.
Could you reproduce it, Sian? Could an actress of your stature
OK.
reproduce it for us now?
Go on then.
Imagine Lee is this
Can
uncle who's
someone
a
fall
little
on my
too
face?
friendly.
Lee's the seedy uncle.
You're never that happy when he turns up, no matter how many presents you think, oh, it's Uncle Lee. Oh.
I like the way that you said she's a good actress, so she could play the part of the screamer, but I could just play the untoward uncle now.
Yeah.
So, there you are. Why don't you demonstrate the Twister? James, what are you doing?
Playing the Twister mat.
It wasn't a scary scream. It was like a... because I was having
Well,
fun scream.
how did the neighbour next door hear it if it was just a little scream?
Did the uncle let out anything as well? Did
I
he...
certainly did not.
So what happens then? So suddenly there's a knock on the door.
Yeah.
And what happens when Jerry arrives?
Well, we're all just having fun at this point. We've all had a few drinks. We all invite Jerry in, see if Jerry wants a sherry. He was really lovely about it.
Right.
So is there a police station in this village? And they're all on duty at Christmas week, are
Well,
they?
there's always got to be a policeman on duty somewhere.
To look out for madmen like you pushing donkeys down lanes. Now, what about James?
OK, James.
Just remind us, James, what it was that you said.
Jerry is the fireman who every Boxing Day soaks me with water during a festive game of squirt.
Oh.
OK. What's going on?
Squirt is a game.
Is it?
Yeah. 2 teams of firemen.
OK, so that's... for a game of squirt, the first thing you need is 2 teams of fire.
And they go either side of a river.
Yeah.
And you get a rope. And you tie it up in a tree at one side of the river. And then you run it along and you tie it to a tree at the other side of the river.
Yeah.
But before you've tied it to the other side, you thread a barrel across it.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
What if there's a fire in the local area during the lengthy setup for a game of squirt?
Well, he's not... They can't put out fires anyway. He's only volunteer.
Sorry?
They're just a volunteer fire brigade. They're not allowed to put out fires.
What are they allowed to do? Just look at them?
They are permitted to pick up litter.
Where do they get the fire engines and everything from then?
Their fire engine's an old one. It's more like an ice cream van that's painted red.
The volunteers, do they have the uniforms?
No. The Kettering Volunteer Fire Brigade have a T-shirt and it has an emblem on it of a fire being put out by a beer.
Talk us through the rules of squirt.
OK. You get the barrel to the middle of the rope, right in the middle of the rope, and then both teams aim their hoses at it.
Are the volunteer firemen allowed real water, or do they just...
No, they're allowed water, they just can't aim it at a fire.
OK.
If there was a fire, they would have to turn the hose off.
Right.
So what happens next?
Someone's like, go! And then they both turn their hoses on and they aim it at the barrel. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the barrel, trying to squirt it along the rope so it gets to the opposition side of the bank. And all the water is hitting this barrel, and we're standing on the bridge. You're soaked.
Yeah.
And then you walk home going, good squirt this year.
Right, now then, what about...
It's basically like it's like a tug of war, but just with a barrel and water.
What about Lee?
How did you come to land the drone in Jerry's ambulance?
We have this really weird tradition in our house where we like to keep dry. And so I thought, what I'll do is I'll fly my drone, but I'll stay in the house. And the window was open, and I thought...
The window was open because it was a very hot Boxing Day.
The window was open. The window was open because my wife always has the heat on very high over Christmas, and I'm not a fan of radiators, so I opened the window. Yeah. And I was practising in the bedroom, and I thought, I'm so in control of this, rather than go downstairs and fly it, I'm just going to go straight out the window.
Was the drone a Christmas present?
The drone was a Christmas present, correct.
Who gave you a drone for Christmas?
Not you, because you got me nothing.
Yeah.
It was my wife.
Your wife got you... It's a very romantic present. A drone.
I mean, after so many years of marriage, wouldn't you just get bored and just think, oh, I've got to get him something again. Oh, let's flick through the Argos catalogue. Ooh, that'll do, a drone.
She's heard me say it to her a lot during the year. Drone, drone, drone.
Why was there an ambulance there? Had your wife called it as a precautionary measure?
The ambulance was actually the house over the road, and as I was flying the drone, I looked over, and a man was carried out on a stretcher. And I think, can't quite see what's going on, but I thought I'll have a little look at that. And my drone has a camera attached to it, so I'm flying the drone over. That's getting closer and closer. You know, I'm getting quite a good...
It can help, I think, when someone's just had a heart attack or something. Something shocking or strange. Helps them really get it together.
I thought so. Yeah. And so I was watching it, and I thought, this is interesting. And then he gets put in the back of the ambulance, and the doors stay open, and Jerry goes in the back. I thought, I'll have a little look, see what's going on. So and now I'm hovering just outside the back doors. Yeah. And I pushed forward a little bit too much, and the drone went straight into the back of the ambulance, striking Jerry on the back.
This presumably hurt Jerry because the rotors of a drone are very fast.
Yeah, he was a good 3 or 4 inches taller than this last year.
So Jerry spots you leaning out of your bedroom window with a remote control. What does he then do?
Oi! I said, give me my drone back! I can't really repeat what he said on television.
Okay, he swore.
Because... No, he's French and I don't understand French.
All right, we need an answer. So, David's team. Is Jerry Sean's concerned copper, James's fireman friend, or Lee's peeved paramedic?
Oh, I don't. I mean,
I think it's James's.
you think it's James's?
I think it's Sean.
I mean, I think we're agreed Lee is lying. The question is it James or Sian?
I think it's a mate of James's from the pub who was a volunteer fireman.
I'm not happy about this. Because my instinct is that James is telling the truth.
Right.
But I know what that's saying publicly.
What?
I know what I am then believing.
What?
Believing a game that is played across a river between volunteer firemen with a souped-up ice cream van and squirting a barrel in which the locals come and stand and watch in just the place where they get splattered with water.
What's it going to be?
I think it's James.
You're going to go with James?
Yeah. Go on, I'm
Jerry,
saying it's James.
would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Jerry, and I'm a volunteer fireman who says...
Yes! Yes! From, if I remember correctly, I think it's from the Geddington volunteer fire department, which is... Geddington is basically a small village that's just outside of Kettering, where, of course, James is from, which is where I'm from, which is how I know this thing, and it has been a thing that's been for years. The one thing I don't think is real is the whole T-shirt with a fire being put out by a beer. That is something that I think should be a thing. So, I don't know, if enough people say to me, I want that T-shirt, maybe I'll create it, maybe I'll sell it on the channel.
Yes, Jerry is James's fireman friend. Thank you very much, Jerry. Which brings us to our final round, quickfire lies, and we start with... it's Lily.
Until last year, I believed that reindeer were fictional creatures like unicorns, until my 6-year-old daughter told me the truth.
Please, team.
No
Until how
way.
long ago?
Last year.
Oh. Is it because Father Christmas's reindeers fly? So that's why they couldn't
yeah,
possibly
maybe
be
that's
true.
why I came to that
get that.
conclusion. That I just felt like it was a ridiculous notion, yeah.
You were aware of deer, though, weren't you?
Yes, actually I was.
So you'd
Because
seen
of Bambi.
deer.
Hang on, because of a... This doesn't make sense. You've seen a fictional reindeer.
Well, if
Flying in the sky.
if Bambi flew, then I probably wouldn't have believed in deer.
What about Dumbo? Do you not believe in elephants? Did you stop believing in carpets when you saw Aladdin?
Very quick. Both of them very quick there.
You know, I remember my ex-husband telling me that the moon was made of cheese, and I believed that. Like, there are things that
Well, yeah, from Wallace and Gromit.
I think we should stop here for a second.
Stop right now.
You genuinely believed what your husband said when he said the cheese?
well, I thought maybe it had, like, the same chemical makeup as cheese.
No, I'm sorry, I'm calling false on this one straight away. I'm calling bullshit. Sorry, bullshit alarm!
Can I just point out, Lily, you are saying this out loud?
Wow. Let's go back to the conversation between you and your little girl. How did it come about and what did she say?
I was going to take them on a trip to Lapland.
Right.
My daughter said, are there going to be reindeer? And I said, don't be ridiculous, reindeer aren't real.
What was her reaction to that?
She had been to another farm in Gloucestershire and had seen some reindeer, so she knew that reindeer were real.
And how long did this carry on?
Until I Googled reindeer.
Wow.
So, what are you going to say?
Well, it's tricky one, because I can't believe she's never, up until that point, seen a reindeer.
I mean, to be fair, I've never seen a reindeer. I've never seen one. Obviously, I have now seen deer, because they're surrounded by a car, of course. But that was only, what, maybe 4 years ago? So, I'm sorry, I'm still calling bullshit, but no, that's not reasonable.
I don't understand how you can go through life without seeing a real reindeer.
Sorry, are we talking about reindeer? Not...
Hello, David.
No, but...
Like I said, I've never seen one.
Reindeer, they don't exist, do they? No, but
Grandpa's
reindeer,
woken up from his sleep on Christmas Day.
you can definitely go through your life without seeing reindeer. They're not like pigeons.
So what's it going to be, Lee? Let's go for a decision.
I mean, I still can't believe that giraffes are real. I've been to the zoo and I've seen giraffes. I still don't quite believe it.
Did you get out and feel it like Noddy would? I think it's a lie.
She's very believable, though.
You think she's lying, but she's believable?
Yeah.
And what kind of answer is that? I hope it's a lie, for Lily's sake.
Lily, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
I was telling a lie.
Thank God for that.
Next, it's David.
Possession.
Ah, right.
Ooh.
There's a box under your desk. Now then, take the item out first. Lift the box onto the desk. Right, now take the item out of the box.
Thank you. Got it.
And now,
Yeah.
read the card.
Last Christmas, my brother bought me this iPad.
Yeah.
I've never turned it on, but I have used it to kill a wasp and carry 3 mugs of hot chocolate.
Please, Tim.
I'm going to put it right out now. That is false, but I really want it to be true.
Right.
Who were the mugs of hot chocolate for? Go.
Sorry?
Who are the mugs of hot chocolate for? Say them now, without thinking.
It's too much pressure. I don't know 3 people. It's
Who were they for, David?
They were for my wife, for me, and for my mother.
Where were you taking them to?
I was taking them from the hot chocolate making room to the hot chocolate consumptorium.
Kitchen to living room?
Yes, that's it.
Did you kill the wasp with the glass side or the non-glass side?
The non-glass side.
OK.
How hard did you hit it?
Well, it's dead. It wasn't like a great sweeping, smash.
Was it mid-air,
It was
or
more
was
of
it-
a sort of a press and lean.
Press and lean. Definitely false. They would have flown away.
False sense of security with my terrified whimpers. And then at a certain point it settled on a flattish surface, and then I went in with the press and lean.
If you kill a wasp, you don't slowly press
No.
it
No.
like a psychopath.
Well, I mean, David
He
would.
only said that he does the push and press because he knew that there wasn't any dints on it.
No. I'm not saying I gradually. As soon as I was pressing, I pressed quickly. I didn't want to extend its suffering. I wasn't whispering stories about, do you find the room is getting smaller? I'm sure you must be imagining it. Finding your little antennae are getting a bit cramped. Oh. What next? Try and move a wing. Oh, you can't.
That would be me.
Right, it's time to take a guess.
Oh, that's a lie.
Lie.
You say it's a lie?
It is a lie.
You can say it's a lie. David, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
I was telling a lie.
Of course. I wanted that to be true so badly. No.
That noise signals time is up. It's the end of the show. I can reveal that Lee's team has won by 4 points to 1. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Oh, as always with Would I Lie to You, it doesn't matter which team won. It matters that we had half an hour of great entertainment, and that is literally it. I was crying with laughter with that one. That was, to be fair, every episode I've watched with Would I Lie to You, it never fails to put a big smile on my face. It really, really doesn't. You know, it's just joyous. It's just joyous. I obviously with the James Acaster one, I had a slight bit of an advantage. I tried not to reveal for anyone who hasn't seen me react before or heard me talk about James Acaster, but obviously I know he's from my hometown of Kettering. So, yeah, that first story, I didn't know whether that was true or not, but as he was talking about it, he's talking about the swimming pool and everything, and he's like saying, "Oh, I'm going across across the shallow end and everything, and you don't wade in the deep end." I'm just picturing it because that is the swimming baths that I learned to swim in personally. Kettering local swimming baths. It was cheap. It was short. It was. I always remember going to the vending machine. Always went to the vending machine afterwards. I always got a hot chocolate, and then it was always a pack of the Transformer crisps. You know, the ones that basically was like a car and you put the little wheel things on them. It never worked as a car, but they were fun to eat. So yeah, that was just great fun to watch. Thank you so very much if you've been watching. I hope you've enjoyed my Christmas month so far. And coming up tomorrow on the channel, let me just bring up my schedule. It is the Christmas episode of The Smoking Room. Of course, I've already done the first series to that. This is the Christmas episode that comes in between there's only 2 series of the show, so this is the one that falls in between series 1 and 2. So that's coming up tomorrow. So yeah, join you then. And for now, my name's Kevin. I am a geek. You've been watching Kevin the Geek. Have a very Merry Christmas.